Yo! You've missed me, haven't you? You have indeed. Yo, brothers, raise a toast. Remember to drink it in. Soak all that good stuff in. Now, fuck the past. And go, where? Go the fucking gym.
Hi, and welcome to the Contenders Corner podcast where we talk everything that is wrestling. I am your host Jason and join me, Ian, Scott, Matt if he's available, and Michael as we dissect this episode of HardTalk. We are an unbiased show here and we'll go into this episode with an open mind, whether it's good or whether it's bad. We aren't afraid to hit home some honest hundreds thoughts. If you're new to this, please like, share, comment and subscribe. And comment in the comment section below and share with us your opinions of what wrestling has been like over the past 3 months. Stay with us as we have a lot to discuss here on YouTube. Are you ready? This is HardTalk. Also guys, we just hit it on the table here. We've got a lot going on. Retro House 45, that is the shop. T-shirts, figures, wrestling t-shirts, retro, everything retro guys, it is there on Retro House 45. Also guys, I'd like to say sorry to some of the viewers as well. I'm going through a lot of personal stuff. Away from the camera guys, away from all of this. I'm doing like a little journal, so what I'm going through, if it can motivate somebody else and save them, that's why I'm doing this journal. But anyway, I'm sorry for the non-consistencies over the years with doing this. We are finally back on the air regularly, much regularly than before, and we're going to throw videos out there when we can, guys. But you just need to bear with me. I'm going through a lot of personal stuff behind this camera. But yeah, let's get this. Let's talk wrestling. Let's go. Right, Scott. The build up to this Rumble. The outlook, Triple H in charge. What are your thoughts on it?
I do think this show in particular was quite predictable. But I think the storylines are probably more built for what's happening in the future rather than what happened on the night. So there's only 5 matches. He actually put the men's rumble on first, which was a very surprising move. The right person won. I think the right person won every match, but maybe the running order was a little bit strange.
Elaborate on that.
Well, I wasn't. The men's rumble on first. I don't think anybody really expected that. I don't think anyone actually expected Reigns versus Owens, the main event of the entire show. So, but I understand why, because of what happened after the bell had rung.
Yeah.
So, I'm intrigued of what's going to happen moving on. The bloodline splitting up, which was inevitable, but I'm surprised with the way that it happened. I expected Roman to eventually turn on him, but actually it was Sammy that sort of as I did not expect at all.
So, Ian, we said last week.
Yes.
We said last week. Hold on a minute.
Hello?
We said last week that the question got brought to the table. Would we see a potential WrestleMania Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns? Most of the opinions coming from last week was it would be Sami Zayn. Have you changed your mind now?
From what I saw in that ending, I can see what they're doing now with, like, I'd say this is just some big setup leading into Elimination Chamber, because it was confirmed that it'll be Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Not this Sunday, on February 18th.
This Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. February 18th we're having Elimination Chamber.
Right. Okay.
And
So-
it's more, and I can see that, like, there is a little drift in the bloodline at the moment. By the time we get to Elimination Chamber and after Roman versus Sami is over, we'll see the Usos rejoin the bloodline, because this will more likely set up Sami and KO versus the Usos, which I think should actually hit night one of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that either.
I mean, like, if you're seeing where they're going with this story, you have to have the downfall of the bloodline main event both nights of WrestleMania.
So, Scott, where are we going with this then? Is it going to be a potential Jey Uso rematch with Reigns for the title at WrestleMania, or are we going to see Sami Zayn?
I think Sami will get the shot in Montreal, where the whole world, apart from a couple of people that we know, will want Sami Zayn to win. I don't expect him to. My concern is how are they going to make him lose? They need to make him lose in a way where he looks strong and Roman gets more heat by beating him.
Yeah.
I think the way to solve that is have Jey Uso screw him over, because you have Jey Uso leaving the bloodline and you make him believe that he's still friends with Sami. What you do is also you write Kevin Owens out of the picture for the next few weeks leading into Chamber, and then you have Jey Uso screw Sami, Reigns wins, the beatdown of Sami begins, and that's when KO comes back in.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's the perfect way of doing it.
Because look at it this way, because we've got the Usos still hold the tag titles, and they've got to face the winner of the Tag Team Turmoil tournament on SmackDown soon. Maybe, I don't know whether that's going to go down in Chamber. We'll have to wait and see there.
Well, I'm expecting that to be McIntyre and Sheamus.
No, they took themselves out of the match.
Oh.
Last week on SmackDown, McIntyre and Sheamus took themselves out of the match because before they got into the ring, they were attacked by the Viking Raiders. So Adam Pearce replaced them with Ricochet and Braun Strowman, and they defeated Hit Row. Then Imperium defeated Legado El Fantasma, and now the final is set. It'll be a rematch from Christmas. It'll be Ricochet and Strowman versus Imperium.
Okay, and I have to go with Ricochet and Strowman, but it makes the most sense to me.
Well, you see, it's obviously because they've been kind of in a little bit of a relationship since the whole Braun Strowman having a piss take of guys who do nothing but flips, and then Ricochet beat him in the SmackDown World Cup, and the two have had their issues with Gunter.
Yeah.
So, like, there's not like it's an interesting choice. I don't see whether or not they beat the Usos for one of the titles. We just have to wait and see. But since they've already faced the Judgment Day and they're kind of faced at the moment, I'd like to see the Usos take on Imperium.
So, with Cody being the winner of the Royal Rumble, is like the question being asked again here? Like, is it Cody going to be the one to beat Roman?
I'd say he will, yeah.
So, like you said, there's going to be like more split ups in the bloodline along the way. So we are going to see a Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns along that way before Cody beats Roman.
more likely since Elimination Chambers in Montreal.
What are your thoughts on that, Scott?
I do think Cody will be the one to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
I think you build up the story,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got to happen at some point. It has to happen. You built Roman up to be the Superman champion. Cody is the big story coming in from AEW to achieve the dream that his father didn't. So I kind of feel like this is the right time for it to happen, but you need some great build up. I want to see some great build up now. I want to see some good storytelling between Reigns and Cody. That's what I want to see in the next few weeks. Even just a tidbit.
And maybe include something with family in it as well.
Yeah.
You got to include family, like, because they're both from families who never got to the top of the mountain in WWE, and now the sons are now doing their part.
Right. So, here's another throw off the question as well. The Rock. So, where does the Rock come into all this as well?
Hopefully, quite a few thousand miles away on a movie set.
I would say the same thing as well. Like, you don't have The Rock come in. Like, everyone's saying, why doesn't The Rock... I was talking to a few people yesterday about the idea, why didn't The Rock come down to help Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? And I was saying, why do you need a 50-year-old actor to come save the hottest talent in wrestling? It'll ruin the story. It'll take the story away off Sami. It'll take the story away off KO, and it'll take the story away off Cody. If you bring The Rock in. Like, even Triple H himself said in the press conference he doesn't know what The Rock is doing for WrestleMania. So, like, maybe just leave The Rock out of any spotlight for WrestleMania and give the spotlight to someone else. Like, give it to either Sami and KO and the Usos, or even Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
But here's a question then. Is that just to throw you away off the subject? Is he saying that to throw you away off the subject? Like, could we see a possible, like what they did with Stone Cold and Kevin Owens last year?
No, because I think the Stone Cold Kevin Owens match was always rumoured. I think the rumours started on that at least a few weeks before Kevin Owens even called the first shot. So I do believe The Rock won't be involved, but I do think a Rock and Reigns match will happen eventually, but I just don't think it'll be just yet.
But it's going to be without the title.
The title for me, it doesn't need to be for the title, personally.
You said that last week as well.
Yeah, the title doesn't need to be involved in this. Some matches doesn't require a title. I mean, look at Rock versus Hogan, Rock versus Cena. Those two blockbuster matches he had at WrestleMania with those two guys didn't require a title. So, yeah, it's not needed.
What about you, Ian?
No, it doesn't. I'd like the match to happen at some point, but if it's not going to happen at WrestleMania, have it happen at SummerSlam. And a title doesn't need to be involved either. Because if the title does get involved, Reigns has to still retain.
Yeah.
Because there's no chance The Rock is going to have time. It's just they're going to have another part-timer as champion in a Triple H era, in a Triple H run WWE.
But here's a throw-off question as well. If we are going to see a potential Cody Rhodes as champion, what does Cody Rhodes look like as a champion? Are we going to see him as a full-time champion, or are we going to see him as another part-timer?
I think he'll be full-time for Defo.
100%.
Like, what other commitments has he had outside of WWE? Like, what commitments did he have outside of AEW? Like, he had a few little acting roles in Arrow, but that was it. He was never a major star. I mean, like, he was able to do that because he was working on the indies. I mean, what other commitments did he have when he was in AEW? He had none. He was just the VP. So, he's now in a position where he could be the top star to carry the company. So So, like, he's more likely going to run with it, because I'm more likely, if he beats Reigns, he will have a strong, long run.
So, full time in what sense? Is he going to defend the
Like,
title a lot more?
Yeah, like, he'll be full time, he'll defend the title, he'll appear on Raw, he'll appear on pay-per-views. Yeah, he'll be committed.
Would you say, here's one for Scott, would you say Triple H wants that as a champion now?
I think any smart wrestling booker / promoter would want a champion that is in the public eye a lot. I know Roman has done his thing for over 2 years now, but he's not a regular champion. So I think Triple H should be wise to have a champion that is going to be there every week, constantly building new stories. Because with Roman, even though the story he's had for over 2 years has been great, I feel that a lot of it has been recycled. I mean, Kevin Owens, we've been there 2 years ago at the Rumble when Owens feuded with him.
Yeah.
John Cena's been there a couple of times. Edge has been there a couple of times. There's been a talk of the Usos a lot. I think with Cody, we will see new challengers come forward. I mean,
Look,
it's like Cameron Cross, guys.
It's like what you said. Hold on, sorry for that. It's like what you said last week. There's a lot of people out there you could go for. Why would you need to have a? I didn't get the need for a repeat for Kevin Owens. A lot of his defenses as well. Not a lot of them, but like there has been quite a few repeats that were unnecessary. What are your thoughts on that, Ian?
Well, I didn't mind the Kevin Owens repeats because they always have good chemistry. John Cena was only a one-time person. We haven't seen John Cena and Roman Reigns connect since they had that match back in SummerSlam. Like with Cody, you need to have a full-time champion that's going to carry your company into a new era, and depending what's going on with all the talk about the sale, and like with Cody now, like you take Roman Reigns out of the scene for a while, and you start to use it to give people more opportunity. Like, and you mentioned Karrion Kross there. Like guys like Austin Theory would be worthy of challenging Cody. LA Knight would be someone I'd like to see work with Cody. I'd also like to see Randy Orton work with Cody again.
Yeah. So we're...
Or even Seth Rollins. More likely we may do an Elimination Chamber.
So with Roman out for a while, how long would that be, you reckon, Scott?
I would think at least until SummerSlam, maybe.
I would say till SummerSlam, but depending on like what they do, if he's only defending one or both titles at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's something that we hopefully it will take two.
And then like what happens then? Does Cody have to give up one title? Say if there's a draft on after WrestleMania, does Cody have to give up one title and put it back to SmackDown, and then do we have a tournament to crown the next champion?
Maybe, yeah. I think that would be a wise thing to do.
Or does Cody just defend one title and hold on to the next title till SummerSlam?
So you're saying it'll be a wise move for them to say if Cody does win both titles, it will be the wisest move to take one title off him and put it back for SmackDown.
Yeah, because you've got two brands, each with a decent amount of rosters. There's a decent amount of talent on each roster. You don't need one champion going backwards and forwards from two shows when you've got all of that talent to work with. I think it's widely spread that it's acceptable to have a world champion for each brand. And if Cody can take those titles from Roman at WrestleMania, I think he will keep hold of the WWE one and give the Universal title back back to wrestling, really.
Yeah, I think he's always wanted the WWE Championship more than the Universal title. I mean, like, we know the story, like, he's doing this for Dusty. Dusty never got the WWE Championship. That's the one he's going to hold.
Right, so is he going to bring back the old replica?
Yeah, he wants to do that now. I'd like to see that.
Would that be a good move, Scott?
It's a rumour I've heard. I think fans would like to see the belt again. So I think it'd be a decent move. I'll be interested to see how it turns out.
So, okay, are we going to see it on the night, or are we going to see it after?
I don't think it'll be on the night. I think if he beats Roman, he will leave with the belts how they were.
Yeah. And then it'll be the next night on the drafts, whatever, they'll come down with his new title.
Possibly, yes.
Moving on from that subject, let's go into the Royal Rumble itself. Ian, as a whole show, what were your thoughts on it?
It was good, but a little bit on the predictable side. Like, the men's Royal Rumble, I could see why they were surprised they were starting with that first, but I had an understanding because obviously Triple H wanted to give something back to the women because of the lack of representation they had at Raw 30 and the lack of build going into the Women's Rumble
Yeah.
So that was obviously trying to give them something back.
Mm.
Like, the Rumble match now, it's fine. Like, I could see now, like, after I just saw all the entrants, and, like, you saw no surprises. We saw no Forbidden Door talent. The only major hometown entrance was Booker T. The only surprise entrance, like, I'd probably say the likes of Edge was a surprise entrance following his return from Extreme Rules. But I could see that Triple H just wanted to use all the current talent because he didn't want to see people left in catering, where other guys, like, when's the last time we saw Chad Gable in a Royal Rumble?
Have we?
Like, I don't recall the time I've seen Chad Gable in a Royal Rumble.
Unless he was in last year's one, I don't think he has been.
I think he must have been, like, but like, he doesn't get much Royal Rumbles, like, and so, like, Triple H wants to use more of the full-time talent that get left in the catering.
Yeah.
Instead of depending on Forbidden Door and surprise entrance.
When you got all that talent.
Saw, like, it really did set up Gunter, another big moment for Gunter now, the Royal Rumble did. He had the best, he was the most impressive at it. He got the most eliminations, I'd say he got 6 at least, because I know he eliminated the New Day, McIntyre, Sheamus. I can't think of anyone else he eliminated.
He had a standoff with Brock Lesnar, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He got to chop him as well. Like, that would have been a good setup for him and Brock at WrestleMania, but we now know that it's going to be Brock versus Bobby again. But that's what this Rumble did. It set up a lot of matches. It set up Brock versus Bobby, Ray versus Dom, and Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Ah, dear me. Oh.
That actually could be it now. Like, if we saw Logan Paul throw Seth out. And, like, going into this, I see Logan Paul he should have been a crown jewel. He should have been a heel during the match with Reigns.
What about you, Scott? What are your thoughts on the whole show?
I did see the ending to Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and it was inevitable that it was going to happen. I just didn't think it would happen like that.
No, neither did I.
I wasn't expecting Sammy to sort of do his best Freddie Flintoff impression by whacking Roman with a chair. But yeah, it was nice. I think if I was watching that live, I probably have been screaming, "Get in there, Sammy," at the top of my voice if I watched that live. So yeah, it's good that now we're seeing Sammy is going to get that big push as a babyface. I think he's been heel-ish for a little bit too long now, so I think he needs that fresh push, and this storyline of the Bloodline has been a brilliant way of getting him recognition, because before this I wasn't a great big fan of the way Sammy was as a heel. I mean, the conspiracy gimmick I didn't really like too much.
Yeah.
I was just irritated by him, but now he's had this gimmick and he's worked alongside the Bloodline absolutely perfectly. I think it's probably the best story that WWE have told for quite some time, and I think it's going to be brilliant.
Well, to be honest, it's one of the better Rumbles that I've came along, really, and I think Triple H has done a hell of a job. You know, credit to him. You know, he's
Yeah, he did a good job, alright.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I was talking to a lot of people, and they thought that wasn't a Triple H booked Rumble. Most people thought that was a Vince booked Rumble, but then I'm saying, like, to them, but would have Vince have pushed guys like Gunter in it, like he would have given that part to Brock.
So is this just Vince stepping back then?
No, Vince is only just focusing on the sale. Triple H is still in charge of the creative, and I'd say he'll be in charge of the creative going into WrestleMania. And like, there's been a good response from the Rumble as well. Did anyone like that little crash between Ricochet and Logan Paul?
I've seen pictures of it.
I haven't seen nothing of it yet. No.
Impressive.
So let's go into the matches. The first match, Ian. The build up to it. Shall we go from the prediction? We'll go from Scott's predictions. Let's get it up.
Hello?
Yeah, hold on. Right, so we'll start off with the Women's Royal Rumble. Scott, build up to it. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's probably, I didn't see a lot of actual personal about who's going to win the Rumble. I think it was more the individuals that were taking place in the Rumble getting their own sort of like spotlight in their own way. I mean, Rhea had the great spotlight being a part of the Judgment Day, getting the tag title shot, and then stepping up to solo like she did on Raw. Becky was having her thing with Damage Control. Raquel was winning matches on SmackDown. So yeah, it was, even though it wasn't mainly predictable as the men's one was, I still think there was only really a couple of realistic winners, and Rhea was the correct winner. I think this is now her moment to shine, but could she potentially choose Charlotte Flair, considering the history she's had with her at previous WrestleMania? So I'm interested to see who Rhea goes with, to who she takes. I think she probably will go for Bianca, but there's still that history of Charlotte I would like to come back to at some point.
What about you, Ian?
I think she will choose Bianca as well, but I would like to see her finally get her moment against Charlotte Flair. But it's more likely she'll pick Bianca, because I'd say she will stay on Raw, because before she gets to Bianca, she's going to get Beth Phoenix at Elimination Chamber.
So we are going to get Beth Phoenix, Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber, then it's going to be Belair.
It's looking like it.
And then it's going to be Belair and Rhea Ripley for the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to actually see a one-on-one Beth Phoenix, Rhea Ripley. I don't think it should be mixed tag. I think keep Edge and Finn off until WrestleMania.
Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. What are your thoughts on this, Scott? The build up to it, the
build up was. I saw the brawl they had on Raw when Uncle Howdy appeared by the side in the crowd. I saw that part. When I watched the highlights of Raw 30 yesterday morning, they didn't actually go back to that. There was more looking at other things that happened. So I think it was, again, the predictable. Bianca winning was the right move. It was good to see Alexa get that push, because with her and Asuka, they're both better than just being tag team partners for each other. So it's good to see the pair of them get pushed in their own right in a more creative way. So, yeah, I mean, Bianca winning, Alexa's going back to the freaky stuff again. So, yeah, I'm sure it won't damage her too much.
What about you, Ian?
Yeah, I think she is going to go back to her freaky route. What way to go with it, I don't know. I'd say, because there's talk now that Bray Wyatt was finished with LA Knight, that he may move on to someone like Karrion Kross. And so you need someone like Alexa in there to counter Scarlett.
Would you say that's too soon for it to be Karrion Kross? Because I wouldn't want Karrion Kross to look weak against Bray Wyatt, you know. Would you say that's too?
Well, I don't know really, because so far with Kross, he's lost the feud with Drew. He lost his first match against Mysterio, and he was the second man eliminated for the Rumble.
Not exactly great going, isn't it?
No, it might not be great going for him for a while, but he'll get back up, unfortunately. There's one thing though about the lights out match. I thought, Bray Wyatt is always great for costume design. Do you not think?
Yeah, I didn't see his face paint. That was
weird.
That was
Yeah.
strange.
Do you not think that his face paint kind of made him look like a villain in the next Avatar movie?
A little bit, yeah.
Like a fire knob.
It's a very creative idea that he had. Yeah, I thought it was really.
And then when he had this, and do you remember the costume he wore after the match was over? Did it not give a Predator vibe?
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that the feud with Knight is now over.
Yeah.
So.
Ace of what's next now?
But with that mask being worn, is that a different a different character?
It's not. It's different to what he's been before. So yeah, it's sort of different character. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a different character, right? Because he said before interviews last week that the Fiend is dead. So he's trying on a new thing.
And he won't go back to the Orion shirt rocking chair gimmick, because it was too synonymous with Brody Lee. So he won't be doing that again either.
It was too
synonymous with Brody Lee.
I mean, it's more recognised with Brody Lee, so.
Yeah.
Because it will just bring back memories.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we'll go. We've already talked about Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. The build up to it,
It was a weird setting now, but it was very short.
Yeah.
I think 2 matches were cut short because of the length of the Women's Rumble and how the ending of Reigns versus Kevin Owens was going to go down.
What about you, Scott?
Yeah, I was hoping for more than a 5-minute match, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, the storyline, the build-up has been a lot longer than Undertaker's entrance. As if you've seen the memes going around social media.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a bit more than a 5-minute match where everything's all black and spooky and he's coming out in a weird costume and face paint. I was hoping for a bit more than that, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, I was hoping for a bit more as well, but the match was just way too off. Would you say it was way too short, Ian?
It was quite a bit short now. I think Bray's entrance was much longer than the match itself.
The build up to this, Scott. What are your thoughts on it?
The build-up was interesting because you kept seeing Knight and Bray go backwards and forwards. It was probably one of the more advanced storyline on the show, apart from Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. It was they put a lot of work into it. Hopefully this will see LA Knight become more of a mainstream star now. I don't want, just because he's been the first victim of Bray. I hope this elevates Knight to a level where he can be a great heel and continue to work in with some of the best baby faces. So it's a good story. I just wanted more from 5 minutes.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was just a bit too short, especially from the build-up standpoint. From the build-up standpoint, we got a lot. We got a lot from it, with the Uncle Howdy thing, the character attacking Bray Wyatt. I thought there would have been a lot more of the match.
Did you think we'd see the Wyatt 6?
What, sorry?
The Wyatt 6 that they're all talking about, with the possibility of Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan back in the fold.
What did you think of the puppets?
Puppets? Oh.
Did the puppets appear?
No, they didn't appear.
They didn't appear?
No, it's not like the grown-up ones that appear in Extreme Rules.
Right. But what did you think of Uncle Howdy? The Uncle Howdy.
I'm liking Uncle Howdy now. I like Pat McAfee threw a good shot at him as well. Like Howdy Doody. It was Howdy Doody. Welcome to Texas. I think he said.
Yeah.
It was something that
What about you, Scott? What did you think of that elbow
Pat
drop?
McAfee said in the commentary.
What did you think of that elbow drop through the table?
That's an Urbate moment there, seeing Pat McAfee come back.
What did you think of the elbow drop through the table, Scott?
I've not seen it, but I've heard that it was a pretty good spot. So it's definitely someone who's a trained professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. It could be Bo Dallas.
Could be Shane McMahon, for all you know.
It could be Jeff Hardy.
Nah, he was Swanson.
Oh dear. Right, the men's Royal Rumble. The build up to it, what are your thoughts, the surprises? Ian, first.
And the men's Royal Rumble was fine. It was good to see more actual talent get used than, say, a part-timer. But it started off slow and then really built up in the end. It definitely gave another great moment for someone like Gunter, who was booked the strongest now. Gunter is and was the runner-up. Gunter is in the league of guys like Kane and Strowman and Reigns, who mostly are used to be eliminating the most guys like Big Show as well, and are just the runner-up in it. He's definitely going to be a future Royal Rumble winner.
Who? Gunter, yeah.
Gunter.
Yeah. I could like that. That would be.
That's the thing. Triple H wanted this Rumble to make stars and get people talking. He wanted to use the current roster. He didn't want Forbidden Door talent or part-timers in it or Hall of Famers. He wanted to see people that not get stuck in catering.
That's that's a good thing, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's a good thing because
like that's one what people got disappointed with because I think they wanted more surprise returns. Like I was talking to a lot of people about, like some people hated the men's rumble. Like one person I know called it the worst whatever, which is a bit harsh.
To be fair, like I get why people would want to not like the men's Royal Rumble. But at the end of the day, it's like what you said, you know, the Triple H did a good thing in utilising the roster, so people didn't get wasted. So
he didn't use everyone. Like I could think of a list of people that didn't feature in the Rumble anyway.
Yeah. But like that in itself was a good thing, you know.
I think people just got used to the same format of surprise returns and part-timers in the Rumble.
But it's something new and people just like not used to it, are they? Scott, what are your thoughts on that?
I know a lot of people were saying that Cody and Seth Rollins are number one. So I was in a chat and they were saying I think Cody's going to do this, and I was thinking, well, I didn't think that purely because I expected Cody to win, and they only just done the number one win the Royal Rumble 2 years ago with Edge. So I didn't think they were going to have a number one win the men's Rumble so soon. But to see Gunther have a run like that, great records as well, it's great. So much better than how a lot of people thought he had been booked when he came to America. If Vince McMahon was still in charge, there's no way Gunther would have had that push.
But he was strong. Gunther was strong during the last months of the Vince reign, and then there was all that talk after the segment they did on the July the 4th Raw that he was going to bury Gunther.
Yeah, he had a good few weeks as Intercontinental Champion, but I think Triple H has really shown everyone what his worth is. Because Gunther is a brilliant person to have on the on your roster. He's an absolute beast in the ring. I think he's marketable as well.
He's very professional when he does the interviews.
Yeah, and his character is just excellent. You can really see the great acting that he has, and he's
so like Triple H knows what he has in him. Like we saw what he was like at NXT UK.
Yeah, and I think the way he's a great leader. He's the only bit I didn't like about him was when he was running away from Braun Strowman. That's the only part of Gunther that I like.
When he was running away from Braun Strowman.
Yeah. That's the only part of Gunther I've sort of been like, oh, come on, man, you're the ring general. You hit harder than a truck. Why are you running away from him?
So, if we rated the whole show, Scott, you first.
Predictable, but it was good to see some people get their moments. So I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
What about you, Ian?
I would say 7 or 8 out of 10. Yes, it is good to see some people get their moments. It's good to see a few surprise returns at the Women's Royal Rumble, and just for that ending as well to the main event, it's definitely worth an 8.
Yeah, I'd say between a solid 7 and 8 for me, especially with the ending. Thought that was very
good first attempt. Like we'll see what happens with Triple H next year.
But the question is, are people going to want more now from Triple H, Scott?
Oh, people always want more. You know what people are like? They always want more.
When you give them a taste of something they want, they plead for more.
But if
you could have Roman Reigns defeat the entire Goonies and it's still not enough.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I thought that was a good take on the Royal Rumble. You know.
Actually,
right.
just one more thing in the Royal Rumble. Just one quick thing before we go.
I have got one more question.
Did anyone see the picture of Ricky Starks backstage at the Rumble?
I did. But
oh yeah, Ricky Starks at WWE confirmed.
No, he's friends with Cody.
I know, I'm just joking.
The way Ricky Starks has been pushed, it'd be foolish to walk away from how he's been portrayed.
If you could change something in the Royal Rumble, if you could change something in the pay-per-view itself, what would you change?
I would change one. Not have Nia Jax at number 30 and replace her with Naomi or Beth Phoenix.
Not have Nia Jax. Oh, Scott?
Possibly the running order of matches. I think putting the men's rumble on first was a little bit surprising.
So you wouldn't have had the men's Royal Rumble first?
Not as the first match of the entire night, no.
Was it a good match to start it though?
Yeah, it was good. So the fundamental rules of booking a wrestling show: you start hot, you end hot, and he did do that. So I will give him his fair dues.
Mm.
Yes, I think like the men's rumble that was at first, but like that's about the 6th time the men's rumble has not main evented the pay-per-view.
Mm.
Am I right? It's about 6 times it hasn't main evented.
Mm.
Right, well, it wasn't in 2006 because that was Kurt Angle and Mark Henry, I believe.
It didn't main event in 97 or 98.
Yeah, 98 was Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. 97, I think it did, didn't it? Or was
No, it didn't. Main event 97 was Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid.
That was right, so that's 3. 2008, the Women's Rumble main event is.
That was 2018, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 4.
It didn't main event in 2013 either. That was Rock and CM Punk.
Yeah, that's right, that's 5.
So, about 5-6 times.
5-6 times.
And also now, 5 people have won the number 30 more than more people have won number 1.
Well, technically, we did get number 1 winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, so that evens
Well,
it
yeah,
out.
you could add, you add Rhea Ripley into that list as well.
Right, okay.
For all Royal Rumbles, you add Rhea Ripley into that list. Like, only 6 people, 5 actually. 5 have won at 30. That'd be Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, and now Cody Rhodes.
Kane?
Sorry?
You said Kane?
No, Undertaker, John Cena, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes.
Yes, that's correct. Number 1, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit,
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So only 4.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta make a list of all the numbers and see who's won the most. Like, because we know 27 has won the most.
27's a very lucky number for them, but
Yeah.
ironic.
And only Stone Cold has won it the most.
Since they made that stat well known about number 27 being successful, I don't think number 27's won it. Since it actually made that well known.
Yeah, I don't think it's won it since 2001.
But yeah, Stone Cold's won it more though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was the last. He was the last person to win it at 27.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here today. We'll keep it short this week, and when if you're all back Wednesday, we'll do another one Wednesday.
Yes, it comes up. Yeah.
If I'm not doing anything, I'll be fine too, but I have to keep an eye out on my other stuff, see if I'm more available.
Yeah, and we'll try and review AEW.
Yeah, there's another interesting show this week coming up. Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher,
Yeah.
Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe.
There's a lot more
We've
talk.
got Takeshita versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage's contract is coming up.
And there's a lot more talk about on that road.
Forward to Takeshita versus Brian Cage. I think that's going to be a banger.
His contract is coming up as well.
Yeah.
Brian Cage.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go with WWE. I don't think.
Don't
I think he wanted
start.
to get off the steroids first.
Don't start talking AEW going to WWE. Not yet, anyway.
You know. Oh, we may have seen the end of an era, by the way, at the Royal Rumble.
End of an era. Why?
We may have witnessed the end of the Kofi Rumble spots.
Well, it's NXT Vengeance Day on Saturday as well, don't forget.
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's going to be a fatal four-way. I don't know if it's elimination match.
Are you all watching that?
I'll be away when that's on.
I'll be posting the card up for everyone to predict on. So, I guess that's...
I'd like to watch it, but I'll be away on holiday, so I'll get it after.
Where are you going on holiday?
Oh, just to Waterford for a friend's birthday.
Oh yeah, hope you enjoy it, man.
It's in the countryside of Ireland.
That'll be something good, isn't it? Hope you enjoy it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Do you know the capital of Ireland is the biggest city on earth?
Dublin.
Yeah, because it keeps on doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling.
But anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up here, and hope you have another good couple of days, and hopefully we'll see you again Wednesday.
Yeah, there'll be a good Dynamite this week, I think.
But anyway, if Scott ain't available for the show, then I'll get to you, Ian, if you're available.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right then, mate. Sounds.
Right.
I hope you both have a good couple of days anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So,